The nuclear standoff between the United States and Iran has reached a critical juncture, with recent negotiations in Berlin failing to bridge the gap over uranium enrichment. Central to this impasse is the issue of uranium enrichment, a process that can serve both civilian and military purposes. The U.S. insists on halting Iran's enrichment activities due to proliferation concerns, while Iran views it as a sovereign right. The United States proposed a compromise, allowing Iran to temporarily continue low-level enrichment, but this was met with skepticism by Iranian officials. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei criticized the proposal, although he refrained from halting negotiations altogether. A recent leaked UN report adds urgency to the situation, revealing that Iran has increased its production of enriched uranium near weapons-grade levels by 50% in the last 3 months. Although this enrichment remains below the 90% threshold required for atomic weapons, it signals a significant escalation in Iran's nuclear capabilities. The potential for a breakthrough or further escalation depends on the ability of diplomats to navigate the complex web of national pride, security concerns, and strategic interests that define this standoff. Iran's insistence on its right to enrich uranium is deeply rooted in a narrative of sovereignty and self-reliance. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been vocal in defending enrichment as a sovereign right and an integral part of Iran's national interests. The Iranian leadership frames enrichment as a symbol of scientific achievement and national pride. President Ebrahim Raisi emphasizes that Iran will not compromise on its scientific expertise and nuclear rights in any way. For Iran, the pursuit of nuclear technology is not merely a matter of energy independence, but a testament to its technological prowess and determination to stand against what it perceives as Western arrogance. This narrative is crucial for maintaining domestic support, as abandoning enrichment could be perceived as capitulating to foreign pressure. The insistence on enrichment is thus not only a technical issue, but a matter of national identity and resistance against perceived external dominance. For the United States, Iran's uranium enrichment activities represent a significant proliferation risk that cannot be ignored. The U.S. stance is clear: no enrichment should take place on Iranian soil. This position reflects deep concerns about the dual-use nature of enrichment technology, which, while useful for civilian energy, can also provide a pathway to nuclear weapons. The Trump administration, and now subsequent U.S. leaders, have maintained a firm line against enrichment, proposing alternatives such as a multinational consortium to provide nuclear fuel to Iran. This approach aims to ensure civilian energy needs without allowing the infrastructure necessary for weaponization. However, Iran has rejected such proposals as incoherent and disjointed, indicating the profound divide between the two nations. From the U.S. perspective, allowing Iran to continue enrichment, even under strict monitoring, could embolden Tehran to eventually develop a nuclear arsenal. The U.S. maximum pressure campaign, including tight sanctions and military threats, underscores the seriousness of its commitment to preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons capabilities. The uranium enrichment issue transcends technicalities and taps into profound symbolic and political dimensions for both Iran and the United States. For Iran, enrichment is a declaration of autonomy, a way to showcase its resilience against external pressures and its capability to control its destiny. Conversely, for the U.S., preventing enrichment is not merely about non-proliferation, it is a statement of global leadership and commitment to international security norms. The U.S. seeks to uphold a standard that discourages the spread of nuclear weapons, viewing any deviation as a threat to the established order and its own strategic interests. The interplay of these symbolic and political factors complicates the negotiation process, as both sides are unwilling to appear weak or yielding. For Iran, conceding on enrichment would mean a loss of face, both domestically and internationally. This symbolic struggle is at the heart of the diplomatic impasse, making it challenging to find a solution that respects both nations' core interests and narratives. The Iran-US nuclear standoff is not an isolated issue, but one with significant regional implications. The Middle East, already fraught with tension, sees Iran's nuclear ambitions as a potential catalyst for further instability. Israel in particular perceives a nuclear-capable Iran as an existential threat, explicitly stating its willingness to take military action if necessary to prevent Iran from acquiring such capabilities. The potential for military escalation is a constant shadow over the region, with both Iran and its adversaries preparing for possible confrontations. Iran has vowed a harsh response to any military actions, further raising the stakes. Beyond immediate regional concerns, there's the risk of a broader nuclear arms race. If Iran achieves nuclear capability, other countries in the region might seek their own nuclear arsenals, fundamentally altering the security landscape. These regional dynamics underscore the urgency of finding a diplomatic resolution to the standoff. The Iran-US nuclear standoff carries significant implications for global security and diplomacy. As one of the most contentious issues on the international stage, it tests the effectiveness of diplomatic frameworks designed to prevent nuclear proliferation and maintain global peace. The outcome of these negotiations could influence the future of international agreements like the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, or NPT. The standoff highlights the challenges of balancing national interests with global security imperatives. For the international community, ensuring that Iran's nuclear program remains peaceful is paramount. Failure to achieve this could undermine trust in diplomatic solutions and encourage other nations to pursue similar paths, believing that the rewards outweigh the risks. Moreover, the standoff has implications for U.S. relations with key allies and adversaries. A failure to resolve the issue diplomatically could strain alliances and embolden rivals, while a successful resolution could enhance U.S. leadership and credibility in global affairs. The path forward in the Iran-US nuclear standoff is fraught with challenges, but diplomacy remains the best hope for a resolution. Both nations must find ways to reconcile their core interests with the need for security and stability. This will require compromises and a willingness to engage in constructive dialogue, free from the constraints of domestic politics and entrenched positions. Potential diplomatic paths could include phased agreements that allow for gradual confidence-building measures. These might involve Iran accepting enhanced inspections and transparency in exchange for limited enrichment rights and sanctions relief. Such steps could pave the way for a comprehensive agreement that addresses both nations' concerns. Mediation by third parties, such as the European Union or other neutral actors, could help facilitate dialogue and offer new perspectives. Ultimately, the resolution of this standoff will depend on the ability of leaders to rise above domestic pressures and prioritize long-term global security.